Okay, workshop. Hey, Brian. Sam, hi. Hi, Sam.
Hello.
Who's this other person? AS initials?
Alonzo.
Hi, Alonzo. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Busy,
Good.
crazy day, as always. Cheryl?
Hello.
Hi, Cheryl. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am usually very camera shy, so I'm definitely out of my comfort zone here, but we're going to have fun with it. Hopefully not at my expense too much. So, hey, Joe.
How's it going?
It's going, as you know, a little hectic, a little crazed, but it's going.
Yes, indeed. Been a busy one.
Yeah, and busy is good. We like busy. Can you guys hear the TV in the background?
I cannot.
I don't hear
Oh,
it.
good. My my cat might make an appearance. She is not camera shy, not at all. Hey, Josie. All right, 6 minutes. Hey, Brian, are we allowed to talk about anything outside of the parameters of the meeting, or do we just stay quiet?
No, I mean, in terms of the town hall, this is, a workshop that has been publicly advertised. So really, you can discuss any matters to the CDD, even different entities. The agenda is more so to just give you a guideline of what to discuss. You just can't make any decisions in this meeting.
Oh, okay. But while we're not in the group, like it's not 6 o'clock yet. We have 5 more minutes. Do we just have to stay quiet until then because we're not officially online, or?
Yeah, that's correct. Your advertisements are from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. So you'll want to hold all CDD business items until that 6 p.m. mark.
Okay. Gotcha. Anybody have non-CDD business they want to talk about? Find any good restaurants around or anything like that? Any great deals? Nope.
Anybody know when
Hey,
that
Bobby.
Carrabba's is supposed to open?
No, my mom, that's one of her favorite places. So she's waiting with bated breath. I drove by it the other day and it looked like it was opening, but then just yesterday I drove by and it was all cordoned off. So not yet. They're still doing their thing.
Good evening.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, Greg. Does anybody know if Debbie's going to be able to join us today?
Yeah, she texted me. I think she'll be on here in the next minute or so.
Oh, good. So we're all here, just missing our fearless leader, former fearless leader. Hmm. I can tell you from a real estate perspective that 90% of I've been meeting a lot of people. I don't know if y'all have, but I've been meeting a lot of people here on property. Most of my sales have been to people who are moving into the short-term rental area for primary residential. And I've been meeting a lot of people as well on the street who did not buy my listings, but they're moving here. They've moved here permanently. So interesting dynamic happening here in the community. Two minutes. Hey, Debbie, how are you?
Hello, Karen, and everyone else that's in attendance.
Okay. It's of course the usual suspects. It's you know, Brian and Joe, and then of course Sam,
I see
Sam,
Alonzo
Bobby,
and
and you.
Karen
So yeah.
and Cheryl
Uh-huh. And Greg.
and Greg.
One more minute, guys.
Before we get started, did we take away the chat feature here?
I don't know. I see raise, react, view, more.
No, I
don't-
just clicked
I
on the
see
more
a
and
chat
there's
option.
a chat. Yeah, I have a chat option on mine.
Where's the chat? I don't see it.
I hit the three little dots and then it says chat right next to people.
Yes,
The,
correct.
the
That's what
three
I
little
just
dots next to the
experienced.
end button,
See,
right
I
at the
don't
bottom
have
of the
that.
screen.
I have
Oh.
people, raise, react, view, change your view, more, and under more, the three little dots, meeting info, devices, video effects and settings, captions, call me. Don't show chat bubbles.
That's exactly what I
Accessibility.
have, Karen.
Yeah, accessibilities. Well, Alonso, I guess they don't want you and I chatting on that. They've heard.
But everybody will have an opportunity to talk if they choose to.
Yes. So, all right, we're right on 6 o'clock. Welcome, everybody. So we have on the meeting, we have Brian Mendez, our district manager. We have Joe Bullins, who is both our amenities manager and our HOA with Artemis. We have our board members. We have Sam Neelam. We have Bobby Vissard. We have Debbie Hyam and myself. And also attending Alonzo, resident, Cheryl, resident. And I think that's it for now. You know, hopefully some people will get home from work or, you know, wherever they are and log in and join. Looks like somebody else is just joining. I don't know who it is. There's no name. So, um, so maybe they'll speak up. There's nothing, just a little icon. So anyway, I'm gonna pull up the workshop agenda. I mentioned before, I'm I'm a little camera shy, so I'm just going through this and hopefully we'll all get through it beautifully. So we did the roll call pretty much, discussion items. The first thing, Bobby, you're up, security and front gates.
Currently, there's not really any updates. We did add a couple extra officers for the Thanksgiving week in anticipation that rentals will be high and try and get people processed in and sent in. All of our equipment up front's working as, we installed it and we're getting through the process. And I haven't recently received any issues, complaints from any residents or anyone as far as the front gate goes. If someone does have any comments, concerns, definitely reach out to me or, express it now, please. And we'll definitely do what we can to resolve that.
Okay. It's been relatively quiet on WhatsApp, so, all's good. Amenity
Hey
center.
team, real quick, if I may, this is a good time to probably catch up on the maintenance items that we were doing at the guardhouse. Did we have any updates on that?
So that was all done during the last board meeting. We had mentioned that to Joe. To my knowledge, there has not been any maintenance complete up there. I did see Alex, a person I was told would be assigned to finishing up the front gate, was over at the amenity center today taking care of the gym. I think that turned out to be a bigger project than what was anticipated. So hopefully we can, in the coming week, once they complete the gym, get our maintenance team decade up there. I don't know if Joe maybe has a further comment on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chris, thanks.
Yeah, we had Alex up.
Meeting.
Sorry about that. No, we had Alex up there for one full day. With the cold, he was able to kind of apply one coat, but it's going to take more than that. So then, yeah, we pulled him back for the gym, and then yeah, we're going to deploy him back out to kind of get the front gate stuff taken care of next week. I think we'll probably have 2 of the 3 maintenance people out in the front by that point.
Nice, good stuff, Joe. Thank you.
So we have 2 people on the meeting who are not identified. Do either of the 2 of you want to say hi? Introduce yourself.
Oh.
You raised your hand. Just, you can talk.
Can you hear me though?
We can hear you now. Yes. What's your name?
Richard Bolam. I live in Springs.
Oh, hi, Richard. How are you?
Very well. I couldn't
Hello,
see
Richard.
email sent out. Hello. The email sent out on the in front steps is not clicking great. It says click here, but it won't click to get me into the meeting. So that's why I had to call in.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's why you're not identified. Okay. Is everything okay? You're on all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm listening. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. And then there's one other person. I guess maybe you're a call-in as well. I'm not sure. But it's an unidentified person. Anybody who's on here and your name isn't showing up? Do you want to say hi? Okay. Debbie, if you catch up with this and you want to, and you want to just pipe up, just go ahead. Everybody's microphones are on. So next we have Debbie, Amenity Center and Cafe updates.
So there is so much happening as it relates to the amenity center. The gym refresh is in full swing. There's been paint work done. The flooring is in. The new equipment is moving in. A little bit of a hiccup with some of the larger pieces of equipment not fitting through the existing doorway, as it looks like they're French doors at the gym, but there's really not, only one side open. So I know that Joe has been working on that to
Wow.
have some minor disassembly done and reassembly once things get moved into the inside. For example, there's a heavy duty leg press machine that I don't think made it through the door today. But the glass is getting installed. I was up there kind of observing the new footprint, which is going to be very similar to what it was before in terms of where the cardio equipment is, but it just looks so great and I am so excited for this. We've got the 2 echelon bikes. We have treadmills that have big monitors on them that lets you simulate walking through different types of terrain. We have a rower up there now. So this is going to be great for our guests that want to come and have a really nice workout.
And our residents.
And our residents, yes. And our residents. And it's still going to be open 24 hours, Alonzo. So maybe there won't be many people in there competing for equipment during the middle of the night. I, after the last CDD meeting, had asked Joe to see if we could get somebody out to work on the gas fireplace that's under the patio. And he didn't even need to get somebody in. He just asked the maintenance team to work on it. And it was a very, very simple fix. Something as simple as maybe new batteries in the igniter. And so now we have a functioning gas fireplace up there that didn't cost us any extra money to get it up and functioning, which I think is great for this cooler weather that we're having and future events after the cafe transitions. I heard earlier today, and I haven't checked my CDD email, but Sam, this is kind of more for you. There were some budget proposals drafted that should have been sent out to our CDD emails for your viewing pleasure. I will get to mine probably this weekend. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions about that, and we can later share some of this with the community once it's been a little more solidified. At the last meeting, we approved a beautiful marquee sign to be installed on the waterfall at the pool slide, which is going to be wonderful. We're going to hopefully drive our social media presence with that and kind of link that to a guest reward. But where it's going to be situated, you're going to be able to see it from walking down the sidewalk if you turn your head into the direction of the front of the amenity center. So that's going to be really exciting and very inviting for our guests. The plants are doing well. They're all kind of past their shocky phase and looking great. Hopefully the cold weather won't negatively impact them too much, but as of yesterday, they were looking pretty phenomenal. So thank you, Karen and Brian, for going out and pulling all of that together and fulfilling my vision. And I can't think of anything else at the moment.
Any questions about that?
Just something to add real quick. We had discussed in our last meeting the insurance policy
That's
with the
it.
new
Thank you.
signage for the Solterra sign. So we did reach out to Aegis, and looks like it'll be an additional roughly $75 to the policy, depending on when we prorate it for the year. So low cost.
Annually.
And now we are operating with Deb and Joe to finalize the signage project.
It is so exciting. There's so many great things happening in and around the amenity center and the property as a whole. I just think, wow, just amazing. And when I'm showing people property and I'm telling them what's going on at the amenities, I always very proudly send them to our clubhouse because it's just amazing. All the things that are happening, everybody's so excited. And I really can tell you that this is adding so much value to our properties. Um, it's, it's wonderful. I'm, getting all tingly talking about it. I'm very excited. And thank you everybody who's participating in this. Um, and, um, and what I can say about my corner of the world, which is the landscaping, um, you know, the the pots did have to, just 4 of those pots had to be moved off of the peninsulas and around the resort pool because of the health department inspected, and I guess the water runoff with possible dirt getting into the pool, and also that they were low lying and that people could, kids could maybe drag some dirt into the pool is considered a health issue. So those pots, our staff had those pots moved immediately out of where it was considered a breach of the health department's rules. But we're looking for other kinds of solutions, maybe a taller pot, because we've all seen them at other resorts, maybe a taller pot and something where the drainage would not even possibly affect the pool itself. So, but other than that, I went and checked on the plants. It looks like everything withstood the temperature drop very nicely. So we're doing well. Even the bird of paradise, I don't know if they got wrapped or if they just, are doing well, but they seem fine. So happy about that. The boulevard has been completed with the not the mulch, the pine needles, right? The pine, the pine, what do you call it? Pine something or other?
Pine straw.
Pine straw.
The
Pine
pine
straw.
straw, the
Thank you.
pine
I
straw.
lost it. So, so the pine straw, it looks a little, maybe, shall we say, plush. It's pretty thick, a little messy. We've been assured that it will be it will, as irrigation takes hold, it will tamp down quite a bit and normalize. But in the interim, wow, talk about timing. It was installed just before our freeze. And the first thing that you look up when it talks about protecting plants from a freeze in the tropical areas, it talks about using pine straw, a bed of pine straw to protect the roots. So, wow, we got so lucky because it came in just in the nick of time to protect the roots of our existing plants. So that was really good. Um, and that's pretty much what I've got to report. There's not a whole lot going on right now in landscape world. Anybody have any questions? No?
I can ask a question if I can, please.
Of course, Richard.
As far as the pine needles, there's a few areas down around Springs that I've noticed, and even on the main drag, that it seems like they either forgot to put them, or if the landscaping is too close to the sidewalk, it doesn't look like it's a finished product, if that makes sense. And I'll take pictures. I'll send them to Joe tomorrow or the next day, just so you can see what I'm talking about.
Well,
Also,
let me address that real quick. So they
okay.
ran out of product. They've ordered more. Not that we shorted the amount that we needed to order, just the vendor ran short of what we had, on our order. So they are procuring more. So they got down as far as they could on the boulevard. More is coming. Everything's going to be done.
Okay. And then again, I can't always say the clubhouse in my eyes should be the epitome of our resort. And it always seems like it's not perfect. And I bring it back always to my mom and dad. If my mom and dad are happy, it can stay as it is. But at this time, mom and dad aren't happy. And you're trying to make the clubhouse and everything in the pool area and all that. But in that first look at the clubhouse, it needs to be immaculate. Some of the trees by the volleyball court don't look healthy. They look like they're dying. Can we yank them? Other things around the area, there's palms that have been dead in front that need to be trimmed. Just little things like that, in my eyes, as an owner, doesn't bring the clubhouse to the next level.
Right. So,
Richard, we would all agree with you on that. And at the last meeting, we did have some discussion about the possibility of bringing in a third party to kind of oversee our landscape contract and kind of create a blueprint of what the expectations should be, along with some unbiased monthly review of all of the areas so that we can hold our vendors accountable to the work that they're delivering. So I would not disagree with you, and we are working on that.
yeah. And thank you so much, Richard. 100%.
One more question.
Hey,
One more question.
Hey, this is Sam. Joe? Joe is there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Joe. I think you guys are doing both now anyways, the CDD and HA side. Can you make a note of like what Richard mentioned? Because that is a very great point, I would say, because I also have the same feeling. It has to be immaculate, because that's the only thing that we can show it to the guests. So some of the items that he highlighted, I definitely agree with him. I know we're in the process of like hiring a new landscaper to take care of this thing, but anyway, whatever the minimal level that we can do immediately before the holidays, make those notes of like simple stuff, so we can discuss about this in the upcoming CDD meeting, and then if we can able to allocate some funds if needed and like little level, we'll take care of those small items first, at least to bring some facades clean and make it more appealing.
Yeah.
And
No, I can definitely
also
add those
keep in mind, we're about to start the whole sidewalk extension project. So that's going to leave the drive and that entire area from the boulevard along the side of the volleyball court up to the front a little torn up for a while until that gets completed. And then once that's completed, we can have a better idea of what our future plan is going to be for that space. But yes, the amenity center should be the crown jewel of the resort. And honestly, I agree. It probably looks very disappointing to a lot of guests.
Yeah. So if I may speak
Yeah,
to that
one
from
more
a
thing additional to
landscaping
that,
point of
Richard,
view.
could you please, like, if it is of not a much trouble to you, could you please either send an email to CDD board members or to the Joe Bullins? Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible. What would you like?
Whatever the items that you mentioned, I know you brought some trees that at the volleyball court next to it. And whatever your mom and dad opinion is, definitely wherever they see some of these shortcomings, maybe we might not able to touch everything immediately, but we definitely take a look into it and then prioritize if anything that we can able to immediately do that.
Perfect. Yeah, just give me a day or two and I'll even take pictures and I'll send
And,
everything to Joe.
Thank you
Great.
so much,
Thank
Sam.
you.
And
just
Richard,
so the other board members know, I actually had a meeting with Richard after the last CDD meeting. Joe was also there. He brought some security questions and also gave Joe kind of rundown of what he thought was lacking and some of his concerns, both on the HOA and the side. He did have a meeting with Richard previous to this.
So, Richard, thank you so much about the landscaping notes, and actually, and Sam, thank you for asking him to send an email. So, further to all of that, there have been like a lot of little things. You know, the trees need trimming, and the cypress, some of the cypress trees in front of the volleyball court are not faring well. They didn't do well after a storm a couple of years ago. And there just seem to be, you know, we keep hitting these things like one thing after the next, one thing after the next, and we don't really have a comprehensive plan. And, you know, and we all do our best in our various, you know, corners of the world, you know, of our responsibilities. However, that's Josie back there, by the way. And but really, I think what we need is we need a third party, not our landscaping vendor, whoever they are or might be, but we need an independent third party who doesn't really have any skin in the ongoing maintenance game, but whose only consideration is the look and the ease of maintenance of our community. And so to that end, Brian and I are going out with a landscape consulting company, so that we can pick their brain and see maybe, you know, and get a bid from them. I'm going to be going out with Brian and looking at other communities that they do landscaping consulting for. So, you know, to see about hiring them to give us a comprehensive plan to really bring us up to that level that Richard, you and Sam, you're talking about.
Can I ask one more question real quick about landscaping? As soon as you
Of
pull
course,
into
yeah.
as soon as you pull in the new landscaping that's to the left when you pull in, right when you pull out,
Yes.
is that changing? Is that something's going on with that? Because again, all about how the area looks. It seems like that shouldn't be there because it doesn't match anything else on the strip.
So that is, you know, when we do something new, we don't just like all of a sudden spend a fortune and roll it out to the entire community and then hope it works, right? So, so that particular area was called out by a number of people at a number of meetings because it's the first thing you see when you drive into the community. It's the first thing that guests see is that big 14-bedroom home with underwear and bathing suits hanging over the edge and everything else, and it's a real eyesore. And that's the first thing that our guests coming through the gate see. And so what we decided to do was we put together some plants that we thought would look really well there, would be easy to maintain, and would help to obscure the view from the incoming guests, right? And it would also help the homeowners and the guests who are staying in the home to give them a little bit more privacy. And we sought out the least expensive and the most manageable way to do it. Now, it is going to take some time for that to fill in. It's kind of sparse right now, but it will fill in over time. The Alamanda is a Florida native plant that has just an amazing amount of yellow flowers that just don't stop. The bamboo is going to fill in really densely within the next year or so, but we're just kind of testing it out as we go. And it will move its way along the boulevard into various areas. Another area that we're looking at right now with a different type of clumping bamboo. This is not the kind of bamboo that runs wild and will take over everybody's yards, but clumping bamboo behind, it's mostly on Oakbourne that backs up to another home community that routinely sees fit they've got chain link fence up there, their house is over there, and people are taking their planting cuttings and throwing them over the fence onto our side. So we kind of saw that bamboo might be a way to stop that. But we have to consider irrigation concerns. But this is, again, where that landscape consultant can come in and save the day and really help us. So it's not a bunch of amateurs.
It looks great, but could we put it also on the other side so it balances out both sides of the road? Because it looks, as you pull in, it looks like that homeowner just decided like, hey, I don't like my landscape anymore. I'm just going to throw it there and it's good to go, if that makes sense. So could we balance it or do something of that nature so it looks okay?
Yeah, let's look at that. And let's, first, I think we wanted to see how it kind of settles in and looks before we start proliferating this throughout the community and spending money on that, right? And then,
Karen,
yep.
just a thought as well. What we've been working on is a plant list. So, as it stands, your landscaping didn't really have an original set of plants that should provide uniformity throughout the community. So, Liaison Winker and myself, along with our landscape team, have been working on that. So, you see some of those test areas. It's actually to create a long-term blue print. To Karen's point, the research that she is conducting to the drought-resistant plants and basically the plants that are going to look the best and cost the least. That is the game plan that we are working on now. And to her point, as we're working through these things and entertaining landscape consulting services, this is all going to tie in. It does take a little bit of time, but we are progressing very well with the landscape, I would say.
Yeah, and we're calling it the palette of plants. So if you ever have any thoughts or ideas or suggestions that you would like to see incorporated in that or anything, just refer to it as the palette of plants and we'll put it forward. But yeah, we're looking at having a comprehensive plan, not just, oh, I like this, or I like that. So, but yeah, to your point, Richard, everything needs to look good. Hey, Debbie, I have a question for you.
Okay, sure.
Regarding the sidewalk, when does that start? When does the demolition start and all of that?
I think that the first step is waiting for Duke to be able to deploy their resources to move back those 3 streetlights that are along the driveway. Is that what I understood, Joe?
Yeah, so the tree's gonna come down first. Vicky from Yellowstone's out there determining if any irrigation needs to be pulled back, and then Duke will come out in that first week of December. And we'll
Okay.
move that first light and then kind of go up. So we're gonna try to sneak between holidays here so it's not completely hideous for when people are here.
Right. That's that was going to be my next question was, can we wait until after January 1st? So, cool.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Yeah, it would be ideal if that could occur between, start to finish between January and spring, for the Easter and Passover guests so that they avoid all that craziness. All right, anything else on those before we move on to Sam's corner of the world?
Hello, I've had my hand up for a while. Yeah, I would concur about the cypress trees. I mentioned that a while ago. They look horrible.
Right.
With the landscaping consultant, like what type of budget do you have for that?
So we don't have a budget per se. We do have, and Sam will verify this, at the last meeting we discussed it. And Brian, I think we have a $2 million surplus. So, we'll find out what, until they actually come here and see the property, which I think they're coming, they're going to be out here and we'll have a proposal on the table for the board meeting. So we don't know right now. So
I was just
Right.
I was just there, and like Villatel, actually, they have some nicer landscaping. But if you want a resort feel, like I just feel that it needs more tropical plants, which I kind of feel is lacking. You know, because when you drive into a resort, say you're going to Mexico or something, it's the tropical plants that really give it that feel.
Yeah, I can tell you we have to be really careful, Deb, because the tropical plants during weather like we just had, and we're only in November, right? Um, we dropped down to 35 degrees, and and every tropical plant needs to be completely wrapped, and 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 the root down by the roots, including the trunk all the way up and around, these things get big, like these huge bird of paradise. It becomes very expensive, very daunting. A lot of them fail. There's a high replacement cost for these plants. So we're not in Mexico, and we're not in Miami. So we have to be very careful that the plant matter that we use, I mean, it's okay to have a few. We should have a few. And we have orchids, we have some bird of paradise. But if we go all out with these things, it's going to add an unimaginable amount of money to the maintenance of these. Plus, it doesn't
So,
look good
so the
when they're
like
wrapped.
they're, I think, I don't know what they call them, but they're like big banana leaves or whatever. They have them all in front
Bird
of
of
the.
paradise.
That's a bird of that doesn't shoot a flower though.
Oh,
They're in front of Villatel. It's just a green leafy plant. So like did they wrap them all? Like,
I don't know. And if they didn't wrap them all, there's going to be a number of them that are going to fail. Below 40 degrees, 40 degrees is usually the tolerance level.
well,
So,
I grow tropical plants in Ontario and I don't take them in unless it's freezing, which is 32. But so I don't know.
Well, I
Just for
think that
food for
in
thought.
order to
but
be
these aren't in
mindful of
pots.
the
These are,
budget, I think that in order to be mindful of the budget and everybody's pocketbook and their um assessments, that we really work to make sure that we're bringing in plants that are, number one, native to the state of Florida, drought resistant, and are bringing color to the resort. And if we can make sure that our palette of plants is checking off those boxes, we can have year-round color that will produce a somewhat tropical feel, but it will ease the burden of having to spend lots of money to replace plants that end up failing during the winter. And honestly, I just saw a weather update that shows that we're going to get a huge Arctic system that's going to be pushing down going into the holidays. And so we're going to have a lot more of this cold weather. And I don't want to see us out here having to replace plants because we failed to be mindful of the fact that we're not in South Florida and we do end up having winter here.
right. But further to all of this, Deb, I mean, I have my opinions of what I like and what I think is pretty and cool, and we all do, right? But at the end of the day, um, I think that we really need to, this is a big resort, and we really need to rely on the professionals. And until well, still, we rely on our vendors to select what plant matter we use. And in the past, I've been on this board, Bobby's been on this board for a long time, and we have seen just a ridiculous number of plant failing and replacements. That's what happens because when your vendor is choosing the plants, because that's where they make their money, right? So we need a good, independent, third party whose responsibility it is to, and whose profession it is to know what's going to look the best. And I can promise you that Steve from Villatel whose family owns Villatel, that he didn't pick the plants. They had a company come out and do it. And so that's what hopefully we're gonna be able to do. Let's see how much it costs. Let's see what the risk reward is, and then we'll take it from there. But thank you so much, Deb, for letting us know, that what your thoughts are in terms of having more tropical looking plants. Anything else about landscaping, or are we ready to move on to Sam and the budget? Sam, you ready?
Yes. Ask me
All
something.
right.
Sorry.
You've got the floor, Sam. It's all yours.
Hello.
Yeah, Sam, you're on.
Yes. Like you asked me something.
Yes. It's we're all going through our little corners of the world, so budgets are yours. So anything that you want to report to us about budget?
I think nothing much since the last meeting.
Okay.
The
What
numbers are
about
the same. I don't think so.
technology?
We have any additional expenses came into play other than what has been discussed.
Okay. What about
The only
technology?
I think the only thing Brian sent me an email today, but I have a meeting tomorrow to discuss about some budget related to the cafe.
Okay. Anything that you want to talk about? Sam? Sam? Are you there? All right. So, online review, financial future development updates. So anybody have anything to talk about with regard to online review or financial and future development updates? Does anybody have any questions about anything like that? No? All right. So community questions and answers.
Karen, can I just say something?
Of course, please.
So back in the spring when we were working on the budget, we used our reserve study as a guideline in terms of pushing some monies into the reserve fund for a very big project that we're all going to be having to work around in 2026, and that's going to be the resurfacing of the pool and the lazy river. We had a couple of quotes or proposals that were submitted, and in reviewing those proposals, the dollar amount was sufficient that it requires us to go out for public bid for those items. So we had some conversations about what we wanted those minimum bids to look like. And historically, a big complaint of a lot of our guests is the fact that the lazy river does not have heat. And in reviewing the quotes, we had some inconsistent scope of work where we had one quote that had a proposal for adding lights to the lazy river. So as we as a board discussed what the minimum requirements for the scope of the job would be, we are asking for lights to be installed in the lazy river, which would potentially allow us to keep it open later in the day, and the addition of heat for the lazy river since it will have to be emptied, and there may be some retrofitting that needs to be done to install a heater. So I just thought I would share that because that could eliminate a lot of the current guest complaints we have regarding the amenities.
I think that is awesome news because when we were just there, like I can go in cold water, but that is a complaint that I heard over and over again, that it's cold. I know in the summer it's not that cold, or it depends how warm the nights are, but that's one complaint that I hear frequently. So I think that is amazing news. Well done.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
Really exciting.
I would also like to add that the resort music that they're now playing for the first time I've heard it there, the kind of the island vibe. I love it. I think it sets off a really good tone for people there having a good time.
Yeah, I think, when I'm, it was always pretty, daunting for me to send people over to the amenity center, to the community clubhouse, because I never knew how they were going to be met, right? When a potential buyer came through or something like that. And I never knew. I mean, and now it's like, I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled to send them over to our amenities because I know that they're going to be met with just perfect hospitality. People who are so nice to them, everybody, everything. It just really makes me feel very proud. And yeah, I'm so thrilled with the direction that we're taking. Everything, from from the various boards, the HOA board and the CDD board, and our management, Joe, Deanna, everybody, all of our staff members, and we're pulling in everything else to back it up, right? All of the actual amenities and the way that we look and the landscaping, it's all pulling together. And I'm just thrilled. But, any ideas that y'all have, please keep them coming because it makes all the difference in the world.
Can I have a question about amenities, please?
Yeah.
Of course.
As a homeowner that lives in the community, is there any way to the cabanas at the pool, any way to give a free cabana or two a year to owners? And
It's
also,
already in place.
It's already there.
okay,
It's
I
already
didn't
there.
realize it.
There's
I didn't see that.
blackouts. It's in the new amenity policy. There's blackouts on weekends from, I think, Memorial Day through Labor Day, and then major holiday weeks like Thanksgiving and Christmas, but there's plenty of extra days that are not blocked out, and each homeowner can take advantage of that 2 times a year.
And is that
Can I ask where?
calendar
Can I
day?
ask? Can I ask where that's located so I can actually see it and print it off?
We can pull it from the amended amenity rules. It should be on the CDD website, but we can share that. And I was pretty
Okay.
sure that I shared that in the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you're in that group after it was
No,
drafted
they-
into policy. I may have
No, they-
overlooked sharing, but yes.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me
You
on the
can.
WhatsApp group, so I stopped asking.
Oh, okay. But yes, you can. The owner of the property must go down there. You can't give it to your brother, your sister. It has to be the documented owner of the property that presents
Correct.
themselves to, yes. But
Perfect. Thank you.
already done.
Is that Richard?
You're
Like,
welcome.
yeah, Richard, this is Sam. You can also record that information from Joe. He can also email it to you, or like provide you the information which dates are blacked out, or which dates are
Perfect.
available. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I just dropped the rules in the chat for everybody. It's on the CDD website.
That was an easy one. I like the easy questions.
Right. Oh, and I do want to say, I stopped over there the other day the floor, the gym. It looks great. Oh my gosh, it's really exciting. And I can't wait for all the machines to be installed and for that to be up and running. I mean, it's well done.
I actually peeked in the gym about 2 hours ago, and it looks like a majority of the machines are in place. They were doing some finishing touch-ups with the paint, and I believe they're waiting on the mirrors, but it's all coming together.
Yeah, it's great.
Bobby, which machines are you planning to use?
None. I'm actually joining Anytime Fitness so I can go while I'm at work.
Okay. Good to know.
Hi.
You know, and just to
Hello.
piggyback off the new gym facility, you know, after we transition the cafe, there's going to be energy drinks available and protein smoothies and some other things to kind of carry you through your workout. Right, Greg?
Is Greg here?
He was early on. He might have had to have left, but anyway.
Hi, this is Maria.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, I just have a quick question, and it's regarding the Lazy River. I didn't hear about the changes that are proposed, the warming up the water, and I really didn't see complaints about that. Are we thinking of also the cost to maintain the water sheets and how much it's going to cost us to maintain the water?
We already,
I mean,
yes, Maria, we already have, you know, money in reserves for the resurfacing of the river. And so while we're doing it, since the pools only get resurfaced every 10 years and they'll need to be drained to do this, we kind of all decided that if we were going to entertain heating the river and putting lights in it, that this would be the time to do it. So it's not a 100%. Yes, this is going to happen, but we are definitely all looking closely at what this will do for our guests and for our homeowners, because it does seem to be a hot topic of conversation in the winter months.
Every house have a pool. Everybody have a heat pool. I don't know why people want even a lazy river when most of the year is hot in Orlando. I mean, that's for me like that's crazy to install all that system just for how many days of cold? How many days of
Have you
cold
ever
do
been
we
in the
have
lazy
in
river in
Orlando?
January? Have you ever been in the lazy
No,
river in
but
January?
I mean,
I have.
Yeah, I think, you know,
well, you never been in a swimming pool here in a public school in Canada. It's like,
Well, you know, people come to Florida with
they
the
don't heat
expectation
the
that it's
pool
going to be
for
warm.
you.
yeah, you know,
So,
everybody,
Yeah, well, they are,
you know,
yeah.
it's one of those
But
things. It's you know,
but the but
Yeah, you
where
can't
we had
please
somebody.
everyone, correct? You can't please everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
exactly.
impossible to please everyone. They go in the middle of the summer and they want the house super cool, super cold, and they want in winter and they want super hot water. Like, you can't please
if I
everyone. I mean, it's
can
impossible.
I just
And it depends
I
on how much it
interject?
will cost, correct?
Cheryl, go ahead.
Who is this?
With
Who's
all
this?
due respect,
You're
this is
cutting
Cheryl.
off. That's the problem.
Cheryl, go ahead.
Am I
You're
cutting?
cutting off.
So, with all due respect,
Yeah.
this resort does have full-time residents, but it also is short-term rentals. So buying into this property, You know that
Mhm.
there are going to be vacationers coming from all over the world to this resort. And I have to agree with Karen on this. When people do pay money to go on a vacation, they do expect, I believe, the waters to be warm no matter where they're coming from. And even if it's cold outside, they've paid money, they're still going to want to go into warm water, no matter what. So, I mean, yes, you can't please everybody, but it is a very common, popular complaint about the lazy river. So I'm
Right. I
excited
mean,
to see that we may be working on that.
yeah, I mean, if we can afford to do it, SeaWorld has a lazy river. It's
That's
heated.
the problem.
Disney has
Every
two lazy
year
rivers.
increase the CDD, correct?
We're on the lazy river.
Every year there is an increase on expenses, correct? We can keep a control on it, correct?
So
I
I
Every year it
understand
goes
that
up.
Sam will keep us on point budget wise, and so will Brian Mendez. We'll make sure that we don't spend more money that we have, and that when we're spending money in a way that is going to benefit the community as a whole. Everything that we're doing is for the greater good, not to satisfy one person's opinions. I mean, we try to take everybody's opinions into consideration. But if you have, you said that
That's
you're
fine.
from
That's why
Canada.
I'm putting out my
Yes.
opinion, correct?
Correct.
Because it's really going up. The CDD is going up, and people
No, the
were
CDD
complaining
hasn't
this
gone up.
year. CDD went up.
Did
Yeah,
Brian? Did the CDD go up?
People were complaining online.
$420 a house annually this year.
Okay.
Yeah, you
So
had a
that-
minor increase, Karen,
Okay,
this
so
year.
30
We are
oh,
working towards
$30.
Most
not
of that
doing that
increase
next
is
year.
due to us taking
That's
over the
that's what I
cafe
want to say.
and
Thank you.
All right.
Listen,
Sorry about-
we can
Yeah,
prioritize what
that's
is
the problem,
important.
correct? You don't know that it went up. You didn't know
No.
that it went up, correct?
No, budgets aren't my
So
thing.
that's the
I
problem.
let Sam
Okay.
handle that.
No, I mean, like,
I don't even pay
and
That's
my
the only
power
one
bills,
I
so-
want to say, just my opinion.
So respectfully,
Thank you.
Karen was not back on the board when we approved the budget. So that happened before she took her seat back. So she was not a party to that vote or conversation.
Yeah, and honestly, when it comes like
Yeah.
$30 on $4,000, 1%, you know what? I'm more concerned about my eggs. I'm spending more on eggs per year than I'm spending on the CDD extra, right? So, I'm more concerned about when things go up 30% than when something goes up 1%. Especially when you take into consideration that our CDD budget is not just for improvements, but also for maintenance. And maintenance is very, very inflation sensitive. So when our maintenance includes landscape maintenance and our CDD dues don't go up more than 1%, when everything else around us is going up 10% or even 3% or 5%, I consider that a really big win.
Well, that's fine. We don't need to spend more time on this. I already presented my point. Thank you very much.
Thank
Karen,
you.
I would just like to say, I think you raised a good point too. Like, we're in competition with so many resorts around us, and I've stayed at Champions Gate, heated lazy river. Everywhere we've gone, it's heated. So I think to stay on the market and be current, you have to be able to compete.
Yeah.
I
And
think heated or not heated.
yeah, and between Brian and Sam and, the rest of the board that's a little bit more budget minded than I am, and I know I should be, but, we'd all have our Achilles heel. I'm happy to defer to the people who are really, picking that stuff apart. My whole thing is improving homeowner value, and that I know has to do with making the place look good, making it appealing for both guests and home buyers alike, and so I'm about that, and I'm not silly with money. I think that every dollar that we spend, we have to think to ourselves, okay, is this really going to pay us back? And are we going to make our money, at least threefold on what we're spending? So those are the things that I think about. So, I am going to rely on the people who are like Sam and like Brian and Joe and people who we're not paying Sam to keep tabs on it, but the people that we are paying to keep tabs on it, and then our board, I'll rely on them to help us. But yes, we do. I don't mean to shut anybody down. We do want to hear everybody's good input. And if we have an overwhelming majority of people who say absolutely not, then, but with roughly 90% of our homes being short-term rental zoned homes, I think that most people are going to be very sensitive to what's going to help them sell their houses to Airbnbs. So, vacation.
Karen, I don't want to interrupt, but Chris Dinks has raised his hand, and we only have 3 minutes left before we have to end this.
Who? I don't see it.
I have.
Chris
Me,
Dinks.
Karen, Chris.
Oh, hey, Chris.
Hey. I was
Hi,
going to say,
Chris.
I think it's a great idea heating the lazy river. I first came to Solterra as a guest in 2016 because before the lazy river existed, and then I kept coming every year. And I love the lazy river. It's actually the reason why I end up buying on Solterra. I do love it. I think the lazy river is great. But other resorts, they are heated. I can only use that lazy river in the summer months as it is freezing. It's freezing. It's still cold in there in August. So to have some kind of heating, I think will be perfect. And I do think it'll really help. And as a result, I could see things are getting better, especially lately. Things are improving a lot at the clubhouse. And I think that'll just be, the cherry on the cake for me. So I would love to see the lazy river heaters. And, like the way you said before about us having heated pools at home, yes, we do. But could you imagine a guest going to the clubhouse if someone said to them, go and use your own pool that's heated, we'll just get us a 1-star review. And the last thing we want is any bad reviews. In the last few months, Solterra is getting nothing but 5-star reviews. So that's been lazy river, I think will really help. So you guys are doing the right things. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
The president, he's okay.
So do we have, we've got 2 minutes left, guys. Anybody have anything else that they want to, any burning desires out there? No?
I would just say, we haven't been there since the spring, and I will say we did notice improvements. We understand there's still, a lot to tackle and a lot to do, but we really like the direction the board is taking, and I'd just like to express, that thank you for all the time you're putting into it, and you're doing a good job.
Thank you very much, Deb.
Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, Alonso, do you have your hand up?
I do. I just had a quick thought, and just going back to that caller earlier, how there is a concern about, what monies are being spent, where they're going to. And regardless to whether it's 1% or 10% or whatever it is, I think in the end, everybody wants what's best for the community. At the same time, do it in a way where we're not spending a ton of money. Because I'm sure a lot of people deep down now, we still feel that we have other pressing issues that still need to be tended with, more so than, other things that we're spending money that we don't have to have right now. I think the biggest thing that's hurt us, in the last couple of years is not necessarily our landscaping or, other little odds and ends. It's been, people getting into, our community. So, with that in mind, just hopefully everybody will continue to stay open-minded, and, hopefully we'll continue to make the types of improvements we can make where everybody will be happy, and we'll either make some money, we'll save some money, and just move forward in that, that way. But the bottom line is we need to do it as a team, and everybody works together. So let's not have any bad feelings toward one another and just
No.
try to keep this thing
Everything.
together.
Yeah, and everybody, please,
We had adult talk.
come to or join in on the CDD meetings, the annual the monthly CDD meetings, and weigh in, man. I mean, we want to hear it because that's when we're actually voting on things. So we want to hear your thoughts, and that's when you can actually hear the numbers and hear, what is most likely to impact us financially and otherwise. So I encourage everybody to come and participate in that too.
And I know we're like at 1 minute past 7, but I really want to make a huge shout out to Brian Mendez. Since we have had Rosetta on board, we have had so much clarity and transparency as it relates to things and the budget that we have never seen or experienced before. And I also want to bring Sam into this because I know the two of them are working together so closely. When we reviewed the budget at last month's meeting, things were broken down into very distinct general ledger entries, so we could pretty much see where every dollar was going, and that will create huge opportunities to eliminate wasteful spending through Sam and Brian's collaboration. So while we are spending some money to bring some improvements that will benefit everybody, we're also working on the flip side, the two of them, to eliminate the waste and to be able to address some of our vendor issues, to hold them more accountable, or find better opportunities. So thank you. I'm very pleased. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Deb. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I'd like to second that. Everybody's work, everybody's hard work is very much appreciated. Joe and Deanna and the whole Artemis team has really done so much to change the face of our clubhouse and our community. They're working really hard in the background. When we come up with all these ideas and you all come up with some ideas of things that you'd like to see, they're the ones who are out there getting quotes, getting bids, figuring it out, how we can do it and the logistics of it. And so just, really, really so appreciative of everybody's work.
Yep, thank you. I think we're good because it's 3 minutes. Brian is going to charge us more.
Okay.
It's already past 1 hour.
Thank you,
okay?
Sam, for keeping us
It's
on
free on
point.
me, guys. I appreciate the good conversation.
Touche.
All right, Sam. All
Right.
right. So with that, everyone, thank you so much for coming and participating. And please email all of us if you have any questions, any considerations, any concerns. We do want to hear. We're individual homeowners too. We have our own opinions, but we do want to hear all of yours. And it does weigh on us. We're always learning something every single day when we hear from you guys. So thank you, and thank you for joining. Appreciate
Thanks, Karen.
Great job,
Good night,
Karen.
everyone. Yes, good job. Great job, Karen.
it.
I know.
Thanks. All right. Good night.